Yeah, hi there. These comments for Mariana, and I am Michael, the lead grammar instructor for our program. And I'm going to go over your email right now. And by the way, for office hours, come by anytime you like. You don't need to make an appointment. I'm in there pretty much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday during my scheduled times. Okay, so with your email, let's take a look at what you have here. You have signature assignment 1 and signature assignment 2. So if we go back to the actual student learning outcomes, let's deal with each one. So the first one says this: tense and aspect, recognize and demonstrate use of all verb tenses and modals. So my only comment here would be this, is your assignment, it looks like, as far as I can tell, you're focusing on verb tenses. You said students practice taking statements using different verb tenses, present, simple past, and past perfect, and rewriting each sentence as a question. Then they needed to identify the auxiliary verb in each question and use it to write a comparative sentence. And then you explain what the results are. Now, my only recommendation here is you measured the verb tenses, but you didn't really measure the use of modals. And that also seems to be part of, for your level, I think your signature assignment should be measuring verb tenses and modals. Now notice it doesn't really say in written and spoken discourse. I guess they're leaving it to you here. But I think it's a good idea if, this is your own judgment. You know what your students' limitations are better than I do, and what the level can do probably better than I can. But if you could do one of those assignments as a spoken type thing, that would be great. Because now you're looking at their ability to meet these goals from a written perspective, but also you can measure them according to a spoken perspective. And I think you're actually having an assignment that does that. Now the next one says, in the signature assignment under complex sentences. Now if we go to the curriculum map again, it says demonstrate use of complex sentence forms. Now here is they might be using this, and I don't know what they're trying to say here in the curriculum map. A complex sentence is a sentence which has an independent clause and a dependent clause. A dependent clause can be in 3 forms: an adjective clause, an adverb clause, and also a noun clause, right? Now, your signature assignment, from what I can tell, it says here using conjunctions and, or, but, or so. The only problem is those are what's called compound sentences. So what I would encourage you to do here is, I'm not saying give up the compound sentence. That's good. They're going beyond the simple sentence. They're learning to connect different ideas together. But you probably have to incorporate, at least, I know the curriculum guide mentions something about, let me take a look at it. It says adverb and adjective clauses, though I wouldn't make this a huge focus for your level, because, I mean, if you look at the count and non-count nouns, if you cover pronouns, modals, God forbid, you know how many chapters? I think that's like 2 fat chapters in the blue book. That's brutal. But I think that's exactly something that's very, very appropriate for that particular level. Comparisons and superlatives. Passive form, I would take the gerunds and infinitives. I wouldn't do much with that at all. Let level 4 deal with that more. Also with adverb and adjective clauses, you can let the higher levels deal with it. But you should probably deal with it a little bit, because it does mention in the signature assignment complex sentences. So my recommendation to your signature assignment about complex sentences is not only incorporate what's called the compound sentence, but try to incorporate some use of the complex sentence, which means maybe you might test a little bit about the student's ability to use adjective and adverb clauses, but keep it very, very basic. Don't get really complicated with those structures. For example, for adjective clauses, for your level, I would avoid using WHOSE, the possessive relative pronoun there. I wouldn't even touch it for your level. That's pretty complicated. Or, things that have prepositions and then connectors through which, by which, in which, for which, I would again probably not get too complicated with it. But if you can deal with the adjective and adverb clauses in a very basic sense, just students get the general idea of how they work, and then you can incorporate part of that into your signature assignment. So that would be some of my comments maybe with that. Now, you also sent me something to download. You have what's called the signature assignment worksheet. It's very thorough, and it looks like you have specific rubrics here which can exactly measure what students are doing. So that it looks very, very appropriate. And you can give students, I think, the kind of feedback they need to see, how well they're doing in this particular area. So I think you have a pretty good concept of how to put together a good rubric that measures specifically, what it is you're trying to test. And I like how you're not just trying to do multiple choice or true false or just fill in the blank. You're actually trying to see how well they can use language there. So I think you're going in the right direction. So what have I said now? So maybe to conclude the video, I think with your signature assignment 2, my only suggestion might be is to include, in addition to verb tenses, to include something to do with modals. That would be my one suggestion there. And with your signature assignment 1, I think my suggestion might be here is you're measuring or testing the student's ability to use compound sentences by using those coordinated conjunctions that you listed in the email. My suggestion would be try to incorporate some basic use of adjective and adverb clauses, and that will go exactly to the student learning outcomes for the level. All right, so anyway, thank you for all your thought you've put into your class. It looks like you got very, very specific ideas and direction about how you want to teach the grammar class. So I think that I'm impressed, I'll be honest with you. It looks like you're very, very thorough in what you're doing. All right? Okay, thank you.